Should I be saving more money for my retirement? That's the question that we're going to be talking about today. So it's important to be saving and saving over the course of your career, but at some point you're going to want to step back and actually enjoy what you've been working so hard for. So how do you know when you can stop saving or take a step back in the savings realm and actually start enjoying the wealth and income that you've created? That's what we're talking about today. So first and foremost, usually the blanket statement, and in most cases when I get this question, the answer is yes, you should be saving more. And this is often because they are behind. So if you are behind in your savings goals, you got started late, you started saving too little and never increased over the years, and you're just behind, meaning that you don't have enough assets built up that the interest is going to help replace your income down the road. And yes, it's probably going to be a good idea if you start saving more. If you're a state employee, remember that you got your pension, you got Social Security. If those two bills on a guaranteed basis don't add up to enough to replace your income, then that's what the savings portion of retirement is going to do, is help you take care of any shortfall that you have. So the more money you have saved up, the higher the interest that's going to generate, i.e. the higher income you're going to get in retirement. So it is important to know that what your expenses are, so you know what income you need to replace. That way you know kind of what amount of interest you need to generate from your portfolio, and that can give you a target goal of how much you need to have saved. If you hit that number, know that anything you do is just icing on the cake, but it's not necessarily required to do so. At that point, you could probably take a step back and actually start enjoying some of it. Now, another sign you should be saving more is if you're in a position where you see that every single month after the expenses are paid, you still have enough left over in savings, but you decide not to spend it. It just kind of sits there and it's nothing. And it happens month over month. And over time, you have some kind of crazy amount in your savings account, something like $150,000, $200,000, $250,000 just sitting in there, earning absolutely nothing in one of those big banks. So if you're one of those people, then yeah, obviously you want to be saving more. Although you are saving your bank account, it's really not doing a whole lot for you, and you're actually losing interest on it. So at that point, that's when you're going to start wanting investing that money into those different retirement accounts so you can get the tax benefits and overall the investment growth that you're missing out on. So if you're in a position where you have enough saved in your emergency fund and you just keep adding on more because your bills are that high, then it's time to start increasing your retirement savings. The third reason why you want to keep on saving more is if you have legacy goals. So if you have a plan that you want to pay for your kid's house, your grandkids' house, pay for their college, or just want to leave them a bunch of money, obviously the more that you have accumulated in your career, the more you're able to help them out with. So if that's something that you wanted to do, then that's one reason to keep on saving more, is for your loved ones there. Now, while I'm all about family and helping people out, it's also important to make sure that you're taken care of first before you help others. Remember the airline rule. You want to make sure that you can get your oxygen mask on before you help your partner next to you. Same goes with financial planning. So before you think about giving money away, helping kids, grandkids, you want to make sure that you're taken care of. So you make sure your income's taken care of, but then you want to think about your care, your long-term care specifically. That's one that's not covered by Medicare. Most people rely on family or just pay out of pocket for everything, and that bill can get out of control quite quickly. So it's important to have enough accumulated if you're going the self-insurance route to cover that bill. How much do I need for long-term care? That's the big question mark. You don't know. And it's really hard to self-insure for long-term care for that reason, because you don't know if you'll get sick, when you get sick, what type of sickness, how long it'll be, what the cost will be. Are you going to be able to do it at home, or do you need full-blown 24/7 care? There's too many variables, and that's where long-term care insurance can come into play. If you don't want to go the insurance route, then you might want to look into something like reverse mortgages. Those can be other ways for you to plan for long-term care costs. So that's something that you definitely want to look into. Now, if you're in a place where you know you need to be saving more, but you're not sure kind of where to go, remember that you can always use your employer-sponsored plans. Your 401k, Washington State, you guys have your DCP, your 403bs. If you're school employees, remember you have both. You put money in a DCP and a 403b, totally separate limits. So in 2023, they kick max out at 30,000 a piece if you're over 50. So that's $60,000 additionally you could be saving into. That's going to solve most people's problems of, I don't know where to put the money. Now, in addition to that, you also have Roth IRAs if you are under the income limits. And in the case that you are over the income limits, you can still do the Roth IRA. You just have to do one extra step and go through the backdoor Roth IRA route. Essentially, you're going to put money into a traditional IRA that's non-deductible, so you get no tax benefit from it. And then you convert that into a Roth. And that's how you get money into the Roth IRA if you're over the income limits. Now, while I made it sound really simple there's a lot of other things you have to think about before doing that strategy. So it's important to consult with an advisor or some type of professional before you do that, because it could have some unintended tax consequences for you down the road. Now, with all that being said, when are you okay to stop saving into it? So obviously, if you hit your income goals, that's one sign that you don't need to be saving as much. You can kind of lay off the gas pedal. Now, when I say income goals, usually I like to define it as guaranteed income. So if I look at my expenses and I say I have X amount coming from my pension, X amount coming from my Social Security on a guaranteed basis, and I have some annuities that also provide guaranteed income, if those three income streams are enough to completely replace my income need, then I'm good. I don't need to really be saving more because all my basic needs and necessities are covered. And they have above and beyond that, it's going to be for pleasure, right? Vacations, traveling, things like that. So once you have your basic needs met, that's one sign that you can start laying off the gas pedal there. The other time you know that it's time to lay off your savings is obviously when you're retired. Now, most people just do this automatically. They retire, they start collecting their income. They're not saving anything more, but there are a handful of people I've talked to that are just such in the mindset of save, 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 that even when they're retired, because their income is more than expenses, they feel like they still have to be saving and investing into their 403Bs and deferred compensation plans. Now, obviously they can't because they're not employed, but they want to keep putting this money away. And if you're in a position to do that, then by all means, go for it. It's not going to hurt you, but you should never feel the need to keep on saving. You've worked your career for your retirement. Now it's time to start enjoying it. Go have fun, travel, spoil your kids, spoil your grandkids, do something with the money while you still have the time left to do so. Now, the other reason what I would say to kind of scale back on your savings or stop altogether is if you're going to be reinvesting in yourself, in assets in the sense that it's going to produce you more income in the future. So one good example for this for teachers is if you're thinking about going to get your master's and you're currently saving to deferred comp and 403Bs, and you're not sure how you're going to make the bills work, it is completely fine, in my opinion, to stop putting money into your deferred comp and your 403Bs and use that money to help pay for your master's program. Because if you think about in the long run, once you get your master's degree, you're going to move up on the pay scale. That's going to give you immediate income. Now you're going to be able to save more than you were before into those different retirement programs and will likely make up the difference in no time. Plus the added benefit, because your pension is based off of your top 5 years of income and your master's degree increases your income, now you just increase your pension for the rest of your life for both you and your spouse. So getting your master's degree or anything you can do that increases your income is going to benefit you so much more in the long run than the few $100 that you didn't put in for a few months while you studied for that degree. Now, that's just one example. Other ones are if you're going to start a business, another reason why you want to pull back on saving is to invest in yourself, the education side of the business. Because if you can get that thing up and running and producing income, the couple $1,000s a month that's going to generate from the business is going to be so much more than the couple $100 you would have put into the retirement account that maybe would have generated a $1,000 or $2,000 a year down the road. So to sum that point up, anytime you're taking money to invest in yourself, that's going to produce income for you in the future. That's going to be a better investment overall than worrying about a couple $100 going into some retirement account each month that, if you're lucky, will pay you $1,000 or $2,000 way down the road. So while it's important to make sure that we're saving towards our goals, we also need to know the times when it's okay to back off or just put a pause on retirement savings. As my dad always likes to say, is you can't buy memories. So go ahead and do the fun things now while you can, because the future isn't guaranteed. Now, while you shouldn't just go crazy with that statement, it is true. When I look back on my childhood, the time that we went out on the boats and fishing and hunting trips, even though we weren't in the best place financially or didn't have our accounts maxed out, those are things that you can never, recreate. And that's something I've always been thankful for, and things that I do with my family. Personally, I don't ever max out any of my retirement accounts because we're too busy doing that kind of stuff, making memories, investing in the business, and helping our kids out, building core memories while they're young and impressionable. So if you're behind in your savings, not maxing out, don't feel bad. As long as the money's going towards things that make you happy, help your mental health, help your family, and are going to be able to produce assets in the future, it's okay. Especially if you're employees, because you got that pension and that Social Security to bank on in the future that most people don't have. Hopefully that helps some people out. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll catch you guys all next week. Remember that your future depends on what you do today.